Hey there everybody, it's Mark Crilly. I'm back with another video. Today's a big day for me because they have just released my latest Brody's Ghost comic. Now this is not Brody's Ghost Book 3, but it's a collection of earlier Brody's Ghost stories that I did about a year ago, now finally available in paper form or electronic form. So I'll put links in the info box of this video if you're interested in getting that, and if you do, thanks in advance for your support. But I'm going to be setting this aside and getting some work done while I respond to comments that I got on my latest video about art supplies. Let's not waste any more time. Let's just get on with it. All right, so I'm going to just be adding a background to this one panel while I respond to some of the comments I got. Thanks so much to everyone who replied. That was sort of an experimental video where instead of teaching something or answering questions, I was asking you guys a question, and the question was, how do you feel about art supplies? Do you think that they are important? Are they crucial to you doing your best work? I sort of suggested that my thoughts on the subject were that, art supplies matter to some degree, but they are not the crucial factor, that buying the right art supplies will not magically allow you to draw better instantly, that really practice and your just native skills really are the more important factor. But I was interested to hear what people would have to say, and we got a variety of responses. The first one is from, I believe, Silent Mobius. And the comment here is a fair question to ask is this: what did Michelangelo, Raphael, and Da Vinci use? There were no Pigma, Prisma, Copics, etc. back then. No pencils of the grade we have today. A good artist is the result of focus and sheer hard work. So very much kind of agreeing with my point there, but it got me to wondering if that's actually true, and maybe we can continue this conversation with people who know. Is it true that the art drawing supplies of that time were inferior to what we have today? I don't know for a fact that that's true. It is certainly possible that the pencils that Da Vinci was using were of very fine quality. Who knows? Maybe some other experts out there could say, but I think we can all agree that it is Da Vinci's hand, or more accurately, his eye and his brain, that were creating those works of genius more than whatever fine pencil he had access to. Let's go on to the next comment here, and this is pretty flat out. I like this person just gets to the point. It seems the name is Ice9RLNO. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that the right way or saying that the right way, but the comment is, a bad pen can trash hours of work, Mark. My artwork is horrible, says this person, but the good quality art stuff helps some. So I liked that, very direct and to the point, and it's true. A really lousy pencil, really inferior paper, these things can, as the commenter said, trash hours of work. And basically, I would say, if there's ever a time when you feel that you are fighting against the paper that you're using, that it's just somehow getting in your way, keeping you from doing what you want to do, not allowing you, this pencil is making a line that's too dark, it's darker than you want, then yes, that is getting in the way of you doing your best work, and you should look into, trying out different pencils until you find the one that just feels natural to you. And I guess that also goes back to my point of, I'm not sure asking another artist what pencil that he or she uses is going to necessarily, be your path towards improved artwork, because maybe it feels good to them, doesn't feel so good to you, who knows. But that's a whole nother thing worth discussing. Let's go on to the next topic here, and that is, this one really impressed me, because I had not thought about this at all. And the commenter, and I believe it is Nongala93, says, I have a muscle disease which makes it difficult to use some art supplies. I can't use hard pencils or eraser because I'm not strong enough to work with them. But I have some favorite pencils and I can draw quite well with them. Also, there are pens that don't fit my hand. So I guess the importance depends from human to human. And that is an excellent point that I had not considered. That if you have any kind of a condition that makes it especially important that you have a pencil that cooperates with your muscles and your hand and so forth. That absolutely would be an instance of the art supplies being highly important, maybe even decisive in terms of you doing your best work. So thank you for that comment, Non-Gala93. You really kind of opened my eyes to something I hadn't really thought about. And best wishes to you. I hope that you are able to get treatment or medicine or whatever it is that you need to cope with that. And hats off to you for working on your art in spite of whatever roadblocks life has put in front of you that way. Let's move on to the next one. From Randomness is Art. I love this very nice quote here. You know what they say, an expert that uses a rock can kill a novice that uses a gun. I love that comment. It's like a scene from a movie, man. Jason Bourne. I don't need a gun. All I need is a handful of acorns and this tube of toothpaste. Stand back. But anyway, I don't think that was originally what was intended with that comment. But it is true that it's another way of saying that the tools are not nearly as important as the person who handles those tools. But thank you for sharing that comment there. Another one, I find it helps, says Woof96. I find it helps. The main thing about good materials is they archive better. I've lost some of my old art to water damage because of cheap, non-waterproof pens, and stuff drawn on cheap copy paper turns yellow. That is an excellent comment, and very true. If you are using really cruddy paper, that is definitely a bad idea, especially if you're putting hours and hours of work into something. You definitely don't want to be committing all that time. With my latest video, almost as kind of a joke, I used this crumpled up, lined notebook paper and a Sharpie. And my idea was, in this instance, I was just going to do the best I could with really cruddy materials and see what would happen. But I definitely do not advise you using certainly crumpled up notebook paper. I don't know. Maybe you can come up with something, make something beautiful that way, but it's an uphill struggle. And the problem is, it will not preserve well over time. I mean, the paper that I'm using right now is a Strathmore Bristol. You know that it's sort of if not museum quality, it's designed not to just go yellow. You certainly don't want really thin copy paper that will wrinkle on you. And then, while you're trying to draw it, it just doesn't hold up that well. So, yes, that was a great comment about, the value of using good art supplies in terms of them lasting longer. And then, you can sort of make your choices there. If this is just practice time or if these things are going to get thrown away, that's what they make newsprint for, right? If you've ever seen that, just designed to be thrown away because it does not hold up very well over time, but it just gives you a surface to practice on. And one person, and I didn't include this comment, sadly, said that sometimes having expensive art supplies can be intimidating. Right? It can make you kind of nervous because you're like, man, this paper costs loads of money, and these paints or whatever, they cost $10 a tube, and I'm getting so uptight about that I can't even begin to start using them. I think that could be an issue for some people. So that's something also worth considering when it's practice time. Maybe that's what the cheap paper and pens are good for, because you don't feel uptight when you're using stuff like that. I am actually going to shift gears to another piece of paper, another panel that I want to do the background on as I continue responding to these comments. All right, so just a few more comments before I wrap this one up. And this next one comes from Proproxis. Poproxxs2. Sorry, I really can't pronounce some of these things, but the comment is, I love art supplies and I like having nicer quality stuff. I mean, I can do a lot with Crayola watercolors and cheaper stuff as well, but I do prefer to have some nicer art supplies. I don't think that different supplies can magically turn you into a better artist, but I believe that if the supplies are used properly, your drawings can be enhanced. And I think that's a sort of a nice balanced way of putting it. There is no magic aspect to the tools suddenly causing you to draw better, but there is certainly, an aspect to them helping you do your best work, I think. And I saw that comment from a lot of people. And the way I tend to look at it is more that tools that you don't feel comfortable with will get in your way. They just sort of are frustrating you as you try to draw, and that frustration is causing you to not draw as well as you would like. Let's go for this next one here, Artie Piedra, I believe. I wouldn't say using better art supplies made me better, but I was able to produce higher quality work once I started using the same equipment most professionals use. And that is true. I mean, there's a reason why professionals are using the tools they're using. I mean, like I'm using this Pigma Micron right now. It's a nice waterproof ink. I think that was the main thing for me. Used to be I would use these sort of store-bought felt tip kind of things, and just a little bit of saliva or any kind of moisture would hit that thing, and boom, it all just starts to bleed and look horrible. So at the very least, I think you do need a permanent ink pen that is not going to react to water badly. This one, the Micron, the Pigma Micron, feels good to me, but I'm not about to say, hey, everybody, this will be the one for you. Different people are going to find different things that they prefer. Let's go for the last one here. I think that asking for names of the supplies you use is not about simply buying the same stuff and thinking it will help, but about not buying some lousy supplies that will not work how we want them to. And that's from Matu Chara, if I'm getting that one right. And I think it is true that if you're trying to avoid buying bad art supplies, so if you ask the artist what they're using, that will indeed at least keep you from making that mistake. But again, I think that finally, if I'm going to wrap this up with any words, it would be focus on your skills, focus on your practice. That's the main thing. I think people can tend to fixate too much on the tools as if that is the number one thing that they need to conquer if they're going to get good at drawing. And I really do think that, if I had to put it in percentage terms, 90%, 95% of what you're doing is related to your skills, the years and years of practice and focusing, honing your craft. Somewhere between 5 and 10%, I would say, is related to the actual tools that you're using. Well, I really enjoyed doing this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And I will do other such videos in the future where I kind of get a little conversation going with my viewers. I think it's very helpful and sort of expands this into more of a back and forth kind of a thing instead of me just always answering questions. I like being able to ask you guys questions sometimes. So you'll definitely be seeing more videos like this somewhere down the line. But I want to, put your fears to rest if you think that I've stopped doing how to draw videos. This month has been a very atypical month because I'm trying to catch up with my Brody's Ghost deadlines, and that is putting me pretty far behind in terms of making the types of videos that I would like to do. But I will soon be done. I'm really down to like my last couple of weeks of finishing up artwork on Brody's Ghost Book 3, and so you can look forward in January to some real honest-to-goodness how to draw videos, and I'll try to make up for lost time by doing a bunch of those in January. But for now, let me go ahead and lay down the pen. I want to thank you for watching this video, for supporting me, for linking to my videos on Facebook and Twitter and so forth. I really do greatly appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with another one real soon.